That's a solid
That's a
dick.
solid dick.
That's a solid dick size.
If that's average.
People who have sex with penises, men, women, non-binary. So many of you were like, I do not fuck with a big dick.
Boyfriend dick is about the spirit. It's spiritual.
Boyfriend dick is
The essence.
a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
Je ne sais quoi. Boyfriend dick is a state of mind.
Hi, I'm Dee Salvin and I have a charcoal stick in my water bottle.
Hi, I'm Pip Rasmussen and I had to play rock, paper, scissors to get let back into a pub after I got too drunk and I lost.
What did you pick?
I picked scissors and they did rock. It's a classic. I think I always go to scissors.
Always go rock.
I don't know.
No.
Anyway.
That's such a classic Seki move.
Look at us. Two different people. You being like health bender and I'm like, woo.
The fact that you didn't even ask me about my charcoal stick. Well.
Fine. Tell us about the charcoal stick in 50 words or less.
Okay, so I have a charcoal stick in my bottle. You're going to kind of hear it. And I found it at the health food shop and it apparently filters your water.
So we are The Hookup. We talk about love, sex, dating and relationships. And today we're going to talk about dick size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big, small, curvy,
Thin,
straight, thin, girthy.
Yeah. All of the
them,
above.
All of them micros.
Yeah. Because we wanted to know whether or not size matters in terms of performance, pleasure.
If this is something that you're worried about,
Yeah.
there's a lot to unpack when it comes to dick size. And we were inspired, as we are, Pip, by a video that you came across on Instagram.
Yeah, so I came across this reel from a really great creator called Jerry Zhang, and he does this series called How to Be a Better Man, where he talks a lot about like breaking down toxic masculinity and ideas like that and the patriarchy. And this is the video I saw.
Sometimes your partner actually likes your meat size.
But they're afraid to say it.
Not because they're lying, but because they're afraid of accidentally hitting your ego like a tripwire. Welcome back to another episode of Being a Better Man, where we fight toxic masculinity and support each other's meat sizes. Come get ready with me.
Yeah, what I really loved so much about this video and in the comment section was that so many people were saying that they thought big is best, right? That like this is what they think people expect in sex and want in sex. And there were so many people being like, no, this isn't what I want, blah, blah, blah. So that's going to be a huge thing of what we'll talk about in this episode is like a lot of guys do feel really insecure. And then so many people don't know how to talk about it. Like kind of like what he said, it's like how do you even bring it up with the people you're sleeping with? Like there's so much like tension around size. So it's like you could be saying, oh, I really like your size, it's perfect or whatever, but then they might interpret it as like, oh, well, you're saying it's not big or whatever.
Well, yeah, like I think he used the word like emotional tripwire, and it's so true because, yeah, again, in the comments, people were like, oh, I hate it when my girl says, but the big ones hurt, babe. And it's like they take that as like a backhanded compliment. But actually, you're doing a nice thing for your partner because they're like, I don't like getting fucked and being hurt. So it's like, there's a lot of insecurity and there's a lot of people who have feelings about this and feel some type of way about it. So let's get into it. All right. So first things first, we asked you on our Instagram at Triple J the Hookup, does dick size matter? 58% of you said yes. 42% of you said no. And keep in mind, we didn't ask you what big, small, size. We just said size in general doesn't matter. By the end of this episode, you actually might have a really changed perception of what it means in terms of size.
Yeah, like if you listened to Pip saying, does dick size matter? And you went, big is best.
Yeah.
You know, like it's so true.
This episode's for you.
Yeah. There's so many different ways that people could have answered that. So I think if you are someone who has always previously thought big is best,
Yes.
that's something that you might change your mind on.
Yeah.
By the end of what you hear, how everyone else feels about it.
And we are going to spend a bit of time on that because a lot of you interpreted it in that way.
I think a lot of people have a bit of a misconceived idea of what it actually means to be big. People have watched porn and then assumed, especially men, like, oh, I'm not big because that's what big is and I don't look like that. Let's look at the research and let's look at the stats. What do we know about what the average erect penis is around the world?
All right. So the average erect penis length is generally between 5.1 and 5.5 inches. Now we got a tape measure.
I'm going to tape measure to show you what that is. So that is that.
Boom.
There you go.
There you go.
Average penis
I'm going to put my
size.
hand up against it. as well.
It's smaller than your hand.
Like it is smaller than my hand. And I have small hands as well.
That is the average.
That is the average. And I think everyone thinks that they have put it down the thigh. Oh, yeah, exactly.
I think that's big for average.
I feel like for an average, I'm like, that's actually pretty decent. I mean, that's what it is. It's an average size.
It's an average size. And then the girth or the circumference is 11 centimeters. So 4.6 inches.
So yeah, with that in mind, and with us really seeing that in person, like that's kind of like
that's a dick.
That's a solid
That's a
dick.
solid dick.
That's a solid dick size.
If that's average.
And it's interesting because, yeah, we had a poll up on our Instagram as well asking, have you ever felt insecure about your size? 42% of you said yes. 32% said no, and 26% said sometimes. So at one point in your life, you're probably going to feel some type of way about your size. We also had so many people message us about this. Jerry said that I've seen posts around Twitter from guys saying that they're below average when in reality they're normal. Again, like you were saying, like porn has a huge impact on how you're seeing yourself, as well as David sending us this one.
I got a mate who had a standard size dick and he was convinced that it was smaller than average, and I couldn't do anything to change his mind.
I feel like I say it every episode, but like the average age that like a young boy watches porn is 10, 11 years old. And if you are at that age, obviously not having sex, you're seeing that size, what other dicks are you seeing?
Yeah.
Maybe your dad's in a non-sexual way.
Yeah.
But like maybe that's the only dick you've ever seen in your life other than the
Your
the
own.
huge fucking porn dicks that you're seeing.
Yeah.
How are you? Of course you're going to be insecure and you're going to think that you are below average and that you've got a really small dick.
Yeah. And like we had Angela White on the episode like recently, and she was talking about the guys that you keep seeing again and again in porn are because they have a visually huge dong.
That's why they're hired.
And they keep getting these jobs again and again and again. So then you keep seeing like Johnny Sins, who's got like a 10-inch cock. Like I can't remember, but like he's massive. He's known for his size. Girth master, exactly. So that's kind of what you're ingesting as a child, and you keep seeing it and you're not getting any comparison. So of course you might be fucked up in your head about like what is normal and what's not. And the insecurity is a huge thing that we heard from you. We got this voice memo from Lucas.
Yeah, honestly, I've struggled a lot with feeling like I'm not enough physically, both in terms of like size and performance. At the start, with my current partner, she'd never said anything about the size of my penis, which made me pretty anxious. I kept wondering if I was enough or I was satisfying her, if she had bigger or better. And eventually I opened up and told her about it. And she was really supportive and told me I was enough, but it still made it really hard to shake the insecurity. If I hadn't brought it up at first, like maybe she would have said it on her own without me prompting, would have felt more real or believable. I suppose it still really affects me to this day.
Wow. It's so interesting to hear Lucas's perspective because I personally have never really thought much about complimenting that area.
Yeah.
Other than obviously if you've got a partner and you're like, amazing, love your dick, but you're never going to, I don't know. I just don't think it's something that we think about how much it might actually impact the other person.
Yeah, 100%.
Of making them feel confident about their size.
Yeah, and hearing Lucas and hearing how he was like really in his head about it, this is something that I think a lot of you struggled with because like Lucas was saying, he was like, I don't even know if I believe you because I prompted it and now it feels like ingenuine. But we did a poll as well asking if someone compliments your size, do you believe them? 31% of you said yes, 23% said no, and 46% of you said maybe. So like we were saying before, it's like an emotional tripwire. It's like your genitalia as a man is so important. Like it shows that you're a bloke, right?
Especially if you, like Lucas's partner, say like, no, I love you. You might, like, I don't know. It's kind of like you're stuck in a weird position because it's like, do you want me to lie and say, yes, babe, you're the biggest I've ever been with? But it's like, why are we encouraging people to say like, you're so big?
In the first place?
Yeah,
definitely.
Like there's nothing wrong with saying you were perfect for me. I love your dick. It's a perfect size. It's like the most compatible dick I've had.
I think personally, like I've never really done that because I feel like, again, it just like instills this insecurity and perpetuates this narrative of like big is better and stuff like that. Again, it is a confusing thing to go through, and whether or not you want to compliment somebody or talk about their size at all is really tricky. And Ben sent us a voice memo talking about this.
I have had some comments made about my size in the past. So I'm 4.5 inches. I think it looks normal. Yeah, I know it's not record breaking, but, you know, for the most part, I think it does the job. You know, I've had a number of people say, well, you know, it's small, but, you know, I can really use it. Others that say, oh, well, you know, yours is fine, or, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. There's just this perception that if, you know, your partner says that to you, that they're just a bit disappointed deep down, pardon the pun, that, you know, it's not bigger. So when people say, you know, oh, it's small, but you really know how to use it, it's a little bit embarrassing, and it really does your head in about your worth as a bloke trying to satisfy your partner, because it really makes you feel inadequate regardless of what you do, and you can't literally do anything about it. You know, even surgical options, not that I would consider that, are really invasive and horrible. You know, I sort of think about, you know, making that comment about a woman's boobs or her ass. Like, I wouldn't, you know, make any comment about that. I'd be like, well, that's what you're given. That's what it is. So
I don't know, like, are people actively having sex and being like, you're so small, but, you know, I feel like it's being prompted, right? If someone's asking you, then what are you supposed to lie?
Or maybe they were like, how was it? And then they just immediately went, oh, it was really good, even though you're small. Oh, don't say that though.
I know, don't say that. Don't say that. But then it's like what you were saying before, like, why are we trying to encourage big is best and be offended by small?
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because a lot of the size stuff is cultural. Like, if you actually look back in ancient Rome or back in like ancient Greece, those huge statues of men, like David, the big David.
Big David.
I've seen him up in the flesh. Big D. I've seen him up in the flesh, and his penis is tiny.
Yeah, he's tiny.
He is tiny. All these old ancient statues of men are tiny because you were seen as more intelligent if you had a smaller penis.
Yeah, and didn't they say you weren't fit to rule if you had a big schlong?
Yeah. So
it's all cyclical. Fashion, baby.
It's the same with women's bodies. It's constantly, it's what you were aspired to look like is constantly fluctuating and changing.
Yeah.
And so I think, it is really important that we have this conversation around big dicks, because the hang up for me isn't justified. Like, not as in like it's not justified. You can feel what you feel, but a lot of you told us you don't actually like big dicks.
Yeah. So starting from that place of like, we see your insecurity. We understand it is tricky to talk about. It is very emotionally, what's the word I'm looking for? Intense. It's entwined with your identity, like with society. But taking that and then going into how many DMs that we had from people who have sex with penises, men, women, non-binary. So many of you were like, I do not fuck with a big dick and I don't like it and it doesn't work for me. So Josh said too big is too painful. I'm not a fan personally. We got this one from Leanne.
So my first boyfriend was absolutely huge. It was painful. We were together over 5 years, and in that time we barely had sex because it was just too much for me. I couldn't take it. I couldn't enjoy it. I was scared by it. And it was ultimately the reason one of the reasons that we broke up, because our sex life was just so bad. And I think it's traumatised me to the point where I will consciously, if I know someone has a huge cock, I will not date them. I won't even entertain it. It's really affected me that bad.
Yeah, this is the thing when it comes to people who have pain with sex, right? Like Liz said, I have vaginismus. Small peens are absolutely perfect for me. And we had this voice memo from Imogen as well.
Since I have endo and PCOS, pretty much all penetration is painful. I've tried every trick in the book, every device, every position, and it just sort of never helps. And I find it actively makes me shy away from pursuing men romantically because I don't want to be kind of the let down as the girlfriend who can't have penetrative sex.
Yeah, that's a really such a fair point and something that is you've got to consider. And, you know, we had a couple of guys message us as well and say, like, from their perspective of someone who owns a big penis, they were like, it is really not what it's cracked up to be. We got this voice memo from James.
I'm a guy that is pretty well endowed. I've got a 9 and I am quite thick, and it's not what it's cracked up to be. If you find a partner that matches you, it's fine. But most people are not born that way. Like, it will be painful and you'll be hurting your partner whenever you're trying to have sex with them. That's not fun. One New Year's Eve, I was with this woman and we were inseparable all night. We're having a great time. We got back to my friend's place and it just wasn't possible. Like, it wouldn't go in no matter what. Horrible. An absolutely horrible experience.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really, really hard.
Yeah. And it's not only like hearing from people who have pain, people who like literally have big dicks and saying it's really not working for them. Their sex life is really struggling because of it. There were so many people who messaged us who was just so straight up like, love small dicks, love to have sex with them, having a great time with them. Gemma said, best sex of my life was with a smaller guy. He knew what to do and was confident. I miss it, with like 3 massive exclamation points. So the myth of like bigger is better, we're just trying to blow it out of the water here and destigmatize the small peen propaganda.
Yeah.
We're not falling for it because there's so many people in the world, society, who don't want it big dick necessarily.
Yeah. I think it's really important to have that conversation and to like normalize the fact that bigger isn't better. And yeah, that this stereotype that has been created from porn, if this is genuinely causing you a lot of insecurity and you are like receiving compliments where people are like, yeah, you're small, but like, you know how to use it and I love it. Like what Gemma said, like it was the best sex of her life. Why are you offended by that comment?
Yeah.
Why are you hyper focusing on the small part and not on the part of this person saying like, I fucking love our sex. It's the best sex of my life. You know how to use it and that's what's important to me. Like I think that should be what you're focusing on.
Yeah.
Like that to me is like, what an incredible compliment to get.
Yeah, 100%. And it's hard and it's like easier said than done. But yeah, trying to get to that self-love phase, potentially being with a partner who really makes you feel safe in that. And also a lot of the time with what we do with these episodes, it just takes a few years of like maturing and getting over it and just kind of sitting with it and being like, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of sexual experiences, good or bad, whatever it happened. And you can get through that, like I think with time. We also had a lot of people message us and say that guys who have big dicks have big egos.
I mean,
so if you relate to this, I think you'll totally understand this voice memo from Steph.
There's also an element of attitude or arrogance that can come with someone with a big dick. It's almost as if they rely just on the size and they don't really try at sex. So those that I've slept with on the smaller side or even average have actually been a lot better because they know how to use it. They know about foreplay. They're not just relying on size.
Yeah. And we're going to get to that. Like it doesn't have to just be penetration.
Yeah. That'll be a huge part of this.
Yeah.
Look, we also have to acknowledge that people do love big dicks. That there were people in our DMs who are size queens, like Christina, who said bigger is better, under average size is disappointing. Claudia, I got a big ass, tummy, thighs, and I lose inches before it's even in. I'm a big girl who needs a big dick. So look, we don't want you, if you have a big dick, to feel like, oh great, well,
no one
fuck
likes
me. Babe, there's a dick for everyone.
There's a dick for everyone.
And we got this voice memo from Billy as well.
When it comes to dick size, it does matter to me, and I would be lying if I said it didn't. It comes down to a few factors. One, anatomy. My cervix is situated higher, and so a bigger dick just hits those spots that a smaller dick can't. And I can take a bigger dick without too much pain or issue. So for me, anatomically, it fits really well. Also, I am a bit of a size queen. I really like that depth and that girth. There's something about it that feels very satisfying, very filling. It's very like massive turn on for me. And also, thirdly, I'm very much a penetration kind of girl. I do enjoy oral and hands, but penetration is a big part of my sex life. So yeah, I have to say a big dick really does make a difference for me.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I think with our friends as well, especially in the gay community, if you're a gay man, they are.
I've got friends who won't even date or have sex with someone that doesn't have a big dick.
Yeah.
It's like the most important thing for them.
Which I think, again, is not the right way to go about it, potentially.
Well,
obviously you have a preference. I get it.
Yeah.
Right? I get that. but I'm also still think like we're in the headspace of fetishizing big dicks.
Yeah.
Like across the board, hetero, like homosexual, whatever. I still think that could be.
I think there's way more important things. But
yeah,
for someone else, a couple of my friends, the bigger the better. They're obsessed. It's all they care about. And like, hey, that's just their preference.
Yeah. You know, another preference that came through very strong on the DMs when we asked, does dick size matter? A lot of people were like, length couldn't care less. Girth though, right?
Yeah.
Everyone was about the girth. Renee saying, my partner is just over 5 inches but has girth, would rather shorter and girthier than long. He hits my G-spot just right. We also got this from Tyson.
I feel like as a gay man who is a bottom, the big dicks seem super hot in theory, and you can talk a big game on the apps, but when you're staring at it, you realise you might have bitten off a bit more than you can chew. It just starts to hurt after a while, especially if they take ages to come and you just find yourself wanting it to end. Plus, you've got to do heaps more prep to take the really big ones and douching and anal care. I think the preference is more like 5 to 6 inch range, but super girthy would be my preference.
Yeah.
Everyone loves girth.
Loves a girthy moment. We also got this voice memo from Luke.
I feel like in the gay community, a big dick is often like fetishized as this real sort of like porn star quality to have. However, I think like the practical application of a big dick is not often realistic. I've found that with guys, there tends to be like a sweet spot that's like right in the middle of like not too big, not too small, but sort of just right.
Everyone is so obsessed with bigger is best, right? They're all obsessed with having a bigger dick. But no one is talking about or prioritizing having a boyfriend dick.
Yes. Oh my God, we have to talk about boyfriend dick. So it is the Goldilocks zone, right?
It's like not too small, not too big, just right.
Just right.
Does the job. But I also need to say that boyfriend dick will be so individual. Everyone's bodies are going to be so different to what like fits and shapes and suits. So I feel like boyfriend dick is something that we talk about, but it's so individual as to what makes your boyfriend dick.
Yeah. I think as an overarching definition of boyfriend dick, to cover all bases, because exactly I agree completely with what you've just said, but boyfriend dick is just the dick that gets it done every damn time. And it's like safe bet. Like it's like
shows up.
It shows up, it does the work, and it gets out, and you're like sick every time. I feel like that's a good safeguard for like what boyfriend dick is.
Yeah, it's
like
not
you
about
said,
size. It's about this.
It's not about size.
Boyfriend dick is about the spirit. It's spiritual.
Boyfriend dick is
the essence.
A lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
A je ne sais quoi. A state of mind. Boyfriend dick is a state of mind.
Yes, I love that.
Just like Pedro Pascal said, daddy is a state of mind.
Boyfriend dick is a state of mind.
If you believe that you have boyfriend dick and like you just like you're in the zone, you're confident, you know what you're doing, like you have boyfriend dick because you know like what your moves are and how you can pleasure somebody and like what feels good for you and for them. And yeah.
Wow,
did we just solve it?
We got deep. That was deep.
Wrap it up. Let's take a break.
So even though we have been talking a lot about size, there were so many of you in our DMs that really, really wanted to get across that it doesn't matter. It's all about foreplay. Paul said, size does not matter. It's all about the foreplay, what you use with your fingers and your tongue. Laura saying sometimes the best sex for women doesn't involve penetration with a peen. And Jamie saying, I think a well-rounded toolkit is better than one big hammer.
Oh, I love that analogy. No, that's it. That's so good. Put that on a t-shirt.
Jamie.
We got this voice memo as well from Jackson.
Yeah, look, admittedly I am undersized, but I've been told by some girls that, you know, I'm the perfect size for a blowjob. And at the end of the day, sex can be done in a number of ways. And I guess for myself, since I'm a little undersized, I kind of pride myself on having that good oral game to get me through.
Yeah, see, a lot of people with penises did say the exact same thing. They get really complimented on like everything else that they're doing. And as we know factually, like statistically, a lot more people, if you are sleeping with women, clitoral stimulation is how you're going to get off, not necessarily by penetration. So focus your efforts there as well, you know, that's important.
And I feel like we've kind of mentioned this as well, but it is so hugely on the way that you use it. Like this DM from Vince says, I had sex with a guy with a really small dick and it's the only time I've orgasmed through penetration. He really knew his angles and was passionate. Well, I mean, if we're looking at orgasms. Orgasm should never be the goal, right? But it's a huge part of sex and a huge part of pleasure. A lot of that is through the mind, right? Like so much of pleasure and orgasm and stimulation comes from being turned on in here. So it's like that makes so much sense that if someone's being really passionate and like, I don't know, I think that makes such a difference. Like rather than someone just having a big dick and hammering you.
The one big hammer.
Yeah.
Jackhammering you. Yeah. It literally, it makes
my God.
a huge diff.
Dry. Instant. Please never do that.
Yeah. We got a voice memo from Danny as well talking about her love of a small peen.
I matched with this guy on Tinder, and when he arrived, he came up to my shoulders. So we both knew this was not happening. Anyway, about a month later, I saw him at the pub and we were both a bit intoxicated. I ended up back at his house and to my surprise, he was phenomenal. He may not have had a big penis, but he knew exactly what to do with it. Mind blown. I cannot rave about how good this guy was. It actually was really disappointing when he told me that he wanted to start dating and that we had to stop having sex. I was devastated.
I love that so much. And again, like, I think the takeaway from this is a bit like don't judge a book by its cover. Like, I think boyfriend dick, state of mind is something that you can get to if we talk more about this. And again, going back to those first comments of the guys who we heard from who were insecure and even a compliment would just rub them the wrong way. It's like, really got to get out of your head on that.
Yeah, stop fixating on the size. Stop fixating if someone's like, look, you're not the biggest I've been with, but like you're the best. Like focus on the best. I'd be like, wow, this person just said I'm the best person they've ever slept with.
Yeah.
And I think, just remind yourself if you are feeling really insecure about your size, like all of the people you just heard from, so many of them were like, it's the way you use it, or like it's the connection you have, or it's how passionate or confident you are. And there's so much sexual pleasure you can get from everything else other than penetration. But even your size might be the perfect size. It might be the perfect curve.
Yeah.
It might be the perfect bend.
It might be the perfect girth.
And it just slots right into someone and you're the dreamiest size I've ever had.
Yeah.
So
love it.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to everyone who contributed to this episode. We love you so much and we appreciate you. If you ever have a question or a dilemma that you want us to address, a topic, please let us know in the DMs and we'll see you in there.
Okay, bye.